on to Nicholas McDonald to our latest Jeans for Jeans ambassador interview. So welcome, Nicholas.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure as always.
Do you like Nicholas or Nikki?
I don't mind. Usually Nicholas is when my wife's giving me into trouble or something like that, or it's my mum giving me into trouble. But Nicholas, Nicky, whatever works best.
All right, I'll go with Nicholas then. I don't want you to feel like you're in trouble. So, Nicholas, you are a singer, songwriter, and recording artist. You were runner-up of the X Factor in 2013, and I hear you're currently in the process of recording a 10-year anniversary show. So that sounds very exciting.
I can't believe it's been 10 years.
Oh, God.
When I say that, it makes people feel old.
Kind of makes when you see the pictures of you, when you look you up online, it's like you look so small. How old were you then?
I was only 16 on the show.
Oh, gosh.
Which is, it
so
was when
a lot changes.
Said, like a few months ago, they're like, do you know it's been 10 years since you did the show? And I was like, no. And then I was like 13, 14. And I added it up. I was like, wow, it was 10 years ago.
God, it goes so quickly, but so much changes, doesn't it?
I know.
So the format of this, it's very informal. It's just a bit of a chat around some questions that we ask all of our ambassadors in these interviews. So there shouldn't be any surprises in there. So if you're ready, we'll kick off.
I'm ready.
Okay. So the first question is, how would your friends and family describe you?
Oh, in what way? I don't know.
Question.
I know. I would say they would say that he's quite funny, a wee bit stupid, but got a good heart and has good intentions. I'd like to think that. You can maybe have some friends that would say the complete opposite. Just depends on how. Yeah, but no, I would say I would like to think that they think that I'm a good person. It's always hard talking about yourself and like I'm so fabulous, I'm so that But
so you weren't brave enough to ask them then beforehand.
No. They'd be like, you really want to know?
Yeah, we'll get with your version. I like that one best. So who would you say that you most admired in life?
I would probably say my grandfather. He passed away a year ago last May, and he was such like an inspiration in my life. He was a proper man's man, and he always went through life just, I don't know, he worked hard. He obviously loved my gran. They were married for 65 plus years.
Wow.
They always did like a lot of travelling, like when they could, when they were younger. And when we were younger as well, I remember he used to pick us up like every Tuesday from school and like take us ice skating or swimming or football. And I always went to football games with him. And I remember like spending so many summers at their house, like building bikes and playing hide and seek. And like that's a lot that I remember like growing up when I was younger. Obviously, I had my parents, but I don't know, my grandparents always kind of stuck with me. And my grandfather was always like my best friend and my inspiration. And even until the day he died, he had knee surgeries, he had heart attacks. He said everything that could possibly go wrong. If this was his second time actually having cancer, and he kind of just fought to the end. And I thought that was, and he went away like so peacefully and so content. And yeah, he was probably like my biggest inspiration and my biggest fan at the same time. He always like believed in me and pushed me to be the best that I can be.
Did he come to all your shows and things?
Yeah, whenever they could, they did. They came down to X Factor and obviously stuff a few times, and they've always like supported me. I remember one time, I was doing a thing for charity, and I was sitting in every single seat at a football stadium where I live. It's called Celtic, so there was like 55,000 seats, and it took us, me and this other woman, 4 days to do it. Now, for him, one day he showed up to that stadium, which is like the team that he supports is like their biggest rivals. So for him to show up, I'm like, what is he doing here? It was such a big deal because obviously in Scotland you've got Celtic and you've got your Rangers, and there's like on. It's such a big deal for him to like turn up to that stadium and show up when he supports the opposite team. So he would always show up whenever he could, but that one was one that like stood out for me. I was like, I wasn't even singing either. I was just doing it for charity. And it took us 4 days to do it, and he showed up, and I was like, and it's so funny because my gran has that picture now in her living room of him in the stage.
I bet he hated that being up there, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's behind him. And I always remember that. It was so funny. I remember seeing him being like, why is he here?
Well, that
He said
is commitment, right?
he just passing and literally walked up to the front door of the stadium and was like, oh, my grandson's in there sitting in every seat. And they're like, aye, right, no bother. And he's like, no, it's Nicholas McDonald. Like, take me to him. I'll prove that he's my grandson. And then when he walked in, he had these 2 security and like staff behind him. And they're like, is this your grandfather? I'm like, yeah. And I was a bit confused. And they're looking at me being like, why is he confused? And I'm like, I'm confused because he supports Rangers and he's just walked into the Celtic Stadium to see me. But that was one that stuck in my mind and probably will for the rest of my life. But
Well,
he showed up whenever.
Nothing says love other than that, does it? I mean, that's a big statement.
Yeah. He's put it aside and he's shown up.
Oh, I love that. So what would you say would be your favourite book or movie of all time? And why did it speak to you so much?
Oh, I think books, and I'm not really a reader, but movies. I think my favourite movie of all time has got to be Home Alone.
Right.
It's all because, like, kind of growing up, me and my brother always wanted to be Kevin McAllister. We were at old Craze. Do you know how the Craze, they say all the Cray twins?
Yeah.
Like, me and my brother were always up to mischief, and we're always no like bad boys, just growing up just being mischievous. And Home Alone, even to this day, I mean, I can watch it right now and we're in the summer. I don't need to watch it at Christmas.
Well, see, we always watch it at Christmas. It's a tradition in our house. And we're doing the decorations. You stick Home Alone on.
Watch it any day of the year, you know what I mean? And I think it spoke to me because I remember growing up and being like, I want to be like him. I want somebody to, like, I don't want someone to break into my house, but I want to like be him and be, and like, because he gets into trouble, but he gets away with it and he's like cute about it. I only figured out that he's cute about it now that I'm older, but when I was younger, I was like, oh, that looks like so much fun. And when it comes on at Christmas, I mean, I could play a part. So if there's ever like a Home Alone, I don't know, show, I'm going to definitely put my name forward for it. But it never spoke to me in a way it like changed my life. It was just like a movie I just love, to be honest.
Did you booby trap your house?
I mean, I did. When I was younger, I tried to do like the things he did. But most of the time, my mum would be like, what are you doing? Please take that down for there. Why is there Legos all the way down the stair?
Yeah.
Like,
why is the paint can just swung over the stairs?
Why is there a tool chest at the top of the stair? And I'm just waiting for somebody to push it. No, it was like just growing up, me and my brother were always just mischievous, but like not harmful, you know. And it's just, even to this day, a movie I just absolutely love.
Yeah, goes back to what you were saying at the start about having good intentions.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. If there was one cause that you'd fight for, or if you could change something in the world, what would it be?
A cause that I would fight for, or something that I would change. I would change probably hunger in the world if I could. Because, you know, you see all these charities and these adverts and stuff, and you take the simple things in life for granted, you know, like food, like water. And it's so hard to watch because you're like, this day and age, that should not be happening, you know. Everyone should have access to food. Everyone should have access to water. Like, in the UK, we take water for granted. It's free. Well, in Scotland, like, my wife's family came over from Florida the first ever time, and I was drinking water out the tap from the kitchen, and they were like, "Oh my God, are you allowed to do that?" I was like, "Of course, man. It's clean." I mean, the water's that clean here, you can drink it out the toilet. And they're all looking at each other like, "Wow, can you?" And I was like, "No, I'm kidding on." But things like that, we take things like that for granted, you know, and it's hard to wrap my mind around, or my head around, that there's people in the world that struggle to have access like this and they die because of it. I think it's something so simple in life that most people take for granted, but means so much to other people who just can't get access to it, which is just blows my mind to even think that that's possible. in a world that we live in now, you know. And I know there is amazing charities out there that do amazing work, but it's like I know there'll be a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, but how hard is it to put a well in these villages that don't have access to water? Like, how hard is it to ship them the food, you know? I know there'll be a lot of moving parts and stuff that do go on, and it's not just the sake of just digging a hole and putting a well there. But something like that, like if I had the money and I could go and do it and help everybody, I'd be the first guy for sure. But I wouldn't want any praise for it. I just want to just do it, just probably sleep better at night going, right, they've got water, they've got food, they should be all right.
That's a nice thing, isn't it? When you do something like that and it goes under the radar, and it's because you genuinely just want to make a difference rather than be seen to make a difference.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
So moving on to more Genes for Genes related questions. Our campaign last year had a strapline of how do you wear yours? And it was, what would you wear with your jeans to have the biggest impact? So what would your perfect accessory or partner to your jeans, what would that be?
I don't know, accessory wise. I mean, obviously you guys do the t-shirts and stuff every year, and I really love them. I can't remember the last one. What was on the last t-shirts? Do you remember?
We haven't done a t-shirt for the past couple of years actually, but we did some really cool Batman t-shirts. I think we did some Looney Tunes t-shirts, but we also just had our kind of branded logo.
Maybe they were sent to mum. I never got any of them, but maybe they were sent to my mum's house, my mum and dad's house, but I don't live there anymore, and they've been like, but they would have known it was for Jeans for Jeans.
She's probably wearing it as a nightie now. You'll have to go.
I know. Like, what's this? I'm like, you know, it's Jeans for Jeans. I was like, she's one that actually got me involved. Obviously when I come off the show and stuff. But accessories, I don't know. I'm not really an accessory guy. I think the hats.
What would you wear as like a cool t-shirt or a shirt, or like if you were going out for a night, how would you rock your jeans?
I am just a black t-shirt and a white t-shirt. That is how simple I am.
You're going classic.
Yeah, just white t-shirt. Maybe just like a white t-shirt with like a nice print on the back. Like it's something like a slogan, or like Jeans for Jeans, like in a cool writing with maybe like a QR code behind it, or like a big QR code on the back of the t-shirt with like the Jeans for Jeans saying something, and people walking up and being like, why is this guy walking about with a QR code on his back? And then they would scan it, and then it would be taken to the Jeans for Jeans website, and they could read all about it. And that's just basically free exposure, you know? So that something like that.
Cool. I think we're going to have to do some kind of design competition now and get that sorted. As long as you don't tumble dry it and it ruins the QR code, because you never know what you're going to get if you scan it, right?
Website you're not supposed to be on.
That's a really good idea. So you touched upon it very, very briefly just then. But how, when and why did you first get involved with Jeans for Jeans?
You know, obviously when I come off the show, we get approached by lots of different charities and people wanting help and stuff, and which I totally understand. But I think Jeans for Jeans stood out for me because obviously before I was on the show, a lot of people don't know, but I'd taken a cardiac arrest and later on get diagnosed with a rare heart condition called long QT syndrome. I mean, I don't know how rare it is anymore. And it was like a rare gene. That's how the doctors and my parents and stuff explained it to me. So I think when obviously you guys, Jeans for Jeans, approached me to be an ambassador, I was like, it makes perfect sense because I've got a rare gene that I can talk about. It's not just like, I don't even, there will be people out there in charities that do long QT syndrome now, but at the time it was just all kind of new. And obviously when I was on the show, I never spoke about it because I didn't want people voting for me and asking for the sympathy vote. I wanted to do well on the show through my own merit, and not people like, oh, let's vote for him. He took a cardiac arrest and basically nearly died. And when he was younger, now he's here to sing. Like, I didn't want people feeling sorry for me. I wanted to get through my own merit. So when you guys approached, and I obviously read into you guys and whatever, and you are promoting and talking about people with rare genetic disorders, I was like, it's just perfect. And ever since then, I've been obviously rooting for you guys and helping whatever way I can. And it's been like great, like partnership and been great to like talk about it and stuff. So
yeah,
I don't really
very much appreciated.
I don't walk about being like, I've got a heart condition, look at me. So it's cool to be involved, have a rare genetic disorder and be an ambassador of something that kind of so it just works.
Just gelled.
Yeah.
And that's
sure.
been since X Factor, so you're talking 10 years then?
Yeah. I think yous were the first. Yeah. I think it's been 10 years, which has been crazy.
We'll have to do another one of these in 10 years' time and see what you're up to then. So what would you like to see Jeans for Jeans doing in 5 years' time?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a person to be like, this is what I'd like to see you do. I think what you are doing is amazing. I think what you're doing is unique and it's different. The only thing I would say is you have to have more events in Scotland because they're always in London, they're always in England. They have done things, but that's the only thing I'd change, more in Scotland so I can get to them.
Okay, definitely noted. We have got some activity up in Scotland, but we'll try and do something a bit more significant up there. We'll do it in your honour. Well, that's the end of the kind of set questions. Was there anything else you wanted to say before we sign off on this one?
No, just thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. And I love the work that you guys do. And as I said, if there's anything that I can do to help or talk about or whatever, I'm only a phone call away. I appreciate your time as always.
Oh, we appreciate you very much. And good luck with your 10-year anniversary show. We'll be looking out for that.
I appreciate it.
Nicholas McDonald, thank you very much.
Thank you.